Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the be, do, have principle. And you may ask yourself, well, what is that? Well, keep watching and find out. Today we're going to talk about the be, do, have principle. This is something that Steve D'Annunzio talks about in his book, The Prosperity Paradigm. It's the be, do, have versus the have, do, be. In life, oftentimes we find ourselves being unhappy or disappointed because we are not getting the outcomes that we want in our life. And we're so often attached to our outcomes because we don't have control over our outcomes. We're then out of control in our life, which gives us this sense or feeling of things not being okay or of things not being right. So the cool thing about principle-based living and the understanding of principles or laws or truths that govern the world in which we live is that oftentimes in order to make significant changes in our life, it doesn't require anything different than changing our thoughts or beliefs about what is creating the outcomes. So think about this. If our belief is that in order for my life to be fun, for my life to be exciting, for me to be happy, I have to have the outcomes that I want. We spend all of our time focused on controlling and creating the outcomes in our life. Well, a simple shift of realizing that, well, wait a minute, I don't have control over my outcomes. I only have control over myself and my thoughts, my emotions, and my behaviors. If we go to an even more foundational level of realizing and recognizing that everything is energy, it's just different forms, different levels of energy, and that like attracts like, then we can realize that the reason our life is the way that it is, the reason that we're experiencing the outcomes that we're experiencing in life is because that's who we are. At a level of energy, that's who we are. And so that's the only thing that we can attract to us in our life. If we want different outcomes, it doesn't matter how much we want them, and it doesn't matter how much we focus on our behavior to create those different outcomes. If we're not changing who we are as an individual, if we're not changing who we are at a deeper level, the behaviors are still not going to get us what we want, and or we will not be successful at changing our behavior because who we are still has not changed. So in order to change who we are, we need to go back to our thoughts and our beliefs. And we have to look at how do we see ourself, what is the value that we place on ourself, and what are our beliefs about achieving or accomplishing the outcomes in life that we want. What are our beliefs about happiness? What are our beliefs about success? What are our beliefs about failure? If those thoughts and beliefs are not in alignment with truth or principle, then we are going to continue to behave in accordance with those beliefs, and we will end up with results that we don't want. So the solution to life is to focus on and remember that this life is all about becoming. It's all about what we're learning. It's about applying the learning to our life and then changing the way that we see things, the way we think about things. And as we change our thoughts and beliefs, our behaviors will automatically change. And then it will seem as if magically things appear and come to us in our life out of nowhere, which really is the truth. So one other short explanation of this is, if you take an acorn or you take any seed and you plant that seed in the ground, that seed will grow into whatever plant it came from. So an acorn will grow into an oak tree. But if you take an acorn and you cut into that acorn, will you find an oak tree? Well, no, you won't. So how is it that that acorn becomes an oak tree? Well, it has within it the potential to become an oak tree, and all it needs to do is attract to itself everything else that it needs to become that oak tree. But that's who it is at a cellular level, or at a level of energy. That acorn has that potential to become an oak tree. And so when it's planted in soil, and the nutrients from the soil and the air and the water and the sunlight and all of that come into that acorn, it begins to sprout and to grow, and everything that it needs to become an oak tree is attracted to it. Everything that's necessary for it to be an oak tree already exists and is there in the universe. The same thing holds true for us. We attract to us exactly who we believe we are and who we are at that state of energy. So in order to change who we are, we need to change our thoughts. We need to change our beliefs. We need to let go of trying to control our outcomes and instead focus on the things that we can control: our conscious thoughts, our emotions, and our behaviors. Doing this will help you actually become the person that you want to be and attract into your life everything that you truly want in your life. Thanks for joining us today. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our websites that you'll see listed below.